Now, Archie, and we're going to talk about Fremantle in a minute, a side that you said's a basket case, so just stand by. Fremantle... What?
Go ahead, Gary.
Fremantle are playing some very nice football, and when they start winning, we start to look at reasons why. Matthew Pavlich's name is always at the top of that list. Just how good is he? Well, I guess if he was here in Melbourne, we may have a greater appreciation for this man, because we'll have a look at his stats in a moment. We'll compare him to one of the other former greats of recent times, but do you think we really appreciate how good Matthew Pavlich is, Grant?
Look, I was a bit of a critic of Pavlich's a couple of years ago. I didn't think he was as much of a team player or as good as a leader as he could have been, but I take my hat off to him now. I think he's very polished in those two areas, and he's pretty much the complete player. Not just his size and physique, but his aerobic capacity, his ability to go through the midfield, his imposing stature when he's up forward. He's a target, he takes marks, he kicks goals. When the game's in the balance, the decisions he makes and the things he does, I think is incredibly compelling case for him to be as good a player going around the competition at the moment. Yeah,
a lot of comparisons recently with Carey, with Brown and Revolt and the like. The player probably most similar to him in recent years is James Hird, who was a magnificent footballer with the Essendon Football Club, and for the same reasons, was that not only was he of the highest quality in the forward line, he could go into that middle. I tell you what, the Tale of the Tape Caro compares more than favourably when you have a look at it over the journey. Still got a hell of a lot of footy in him, Matthew Pavlich. All of those stats stack up more than comparably. All Australians, one in front. Let's turn over to the next page. This is where it gets interesting. 5-time best and fairest, 6-time leading goal kicker, and I guess the two big ones. Brownlow medal, well, he's always been thereabouts, and premierships, well, sometimes you need someone to come along with you for the ride to be able to achieve that. But
the two key differences are Freo have hardly played in any finals, so he hasn't got the... I mean, James Hird was brilliant in finals, and so we haven't really seen that yet. And obviously he's maybe won more BNFs because he's never been in... He's been a much better player in an ordinary team, but they're not an ordinary team anymore.
Speaking of a long way away, Stephen Hill would be in the best 10 players in the competition right now, and doesn't get his due, being a long way away from here. Second-year player, just sensational.
Back to Pavlich, if I can. I reckon he completes teams, would complete every other team better than any other player in the competition. He's the sort of player that could go into any other team in the competition and really complete them.
Their form, you're absolutely right, and their form has been great, Hutchie. You cannot deny their form. They have taken on the big tasks, they've beaten the big teams, they've gone up and done something they've never done in their history. Are you going to concede? Before you actually answer this, I want you to have a listen. I think this was our first show of the year, Footy Classified. You were talking about Mark Harvey, the coach of Fremantle. Have a listen to this. What about the coaching future of Mark Harvey while you're on a roll, while you're just whacking Freo? You want to give him another one?
I think he's long odds to be coached next year, but they would need to win, I would think, 8 to 10 games. I can't see how they can.
They got 6 after 7 games. Not a bad start.
They haven't really beaten them. They've only beaten Geelong. And
Not convinced yet, Gary. Not convinced. Just reserving my judgment at 6-1. I think they can probably end up with about 10 or 11 wins, but I don't think they'll be top 4, Gary.
Okay. I think you need to be convinced.
Much better than I thought they were, though.
Oh, well, that sounds like a good...
There's one telltale factor with Freo that we haven't seen before, and that is their consistent hardness and effort and intensity. That's the thing that's always been flagging. It's up, it's down, it's sideways. At the moment, they've played near enough to 6 games on the trot with a real hard nosed approach to the game, and I think they're set in stone with them now.